Evil Koopa and his troopers are up to misbehaving. They kidnap the Princess Mushroom Land needs saving. Abusing and confusing, everybody discovers they can't help but be hooked on the brothers.
For the longest time, I didn't think the Mario franchise was expanded into the media like that. I assumed that he only had games and was the mascot for Nintendo, and that was about it. But I always asked myself why he didn't have his own anime, show, or a movie. Keep in mind that I was born in the early 2000s, so I was completely unaware of the stuff Mario had in the 90s. The Pokemon anime, Sonic X, and Kirby Right Back at Ya were the only video game shows I was aware of seeing back in the day. And as a diehard fan of the Super Mario franchise, it felt weird that I couldn't find anything close to that growing up. But one day, on the early morning of Christmas actually, I saw a teaser trailer that shocked me when I was watching Sonic Underground for the first time. It was the opening of the adventure of Super Mario Bros. 3. Everything about that opening was so cool to me, as everything seemed chaotic but fun to watch at the same time. A part of me knew at the time I was going to enjoy it if I had it. It was right around then I ran towards my mother's room and asked her to order me The Adventure of Super Mario Bros. 3. And sure enough she did, but not exactly what I had in mind. It wasn't just The Adventure of Super Mario Bros. 3, in fact all of the cartoons were included. Super Show, Super Mario Bros. 3, and Super Mario World all in one DVD. It was quite a time to be alive for a huge Mario fan like me. And while all of these shows were fine, the Super Mario Bros. Super Show managed to be one of the best cartoons to ever come out within the trilogy. What I recalled fondly of the show was how it was able to keep me entertained with its humor, action, and overall adventure within the world they're in.
There's only one king of Camelot, and who is that?
Can you give me a hint?
He's sitting right here on this throne!
Well, gee, maybe you better get off him.
Now this show isn't completely accurate to the first two games, but it somehow makes us believe that the world they are in is still very Mario-like, due to the amount of characters and items they include in the episodes. What I liked a lot in this show was that it took a lot of ideas from other franchises to make their own little stories. I found it pretty fun to watch movies or shows I grew up watching being parodied with Mario characters. One of my favorite episodes to come from the show was titled King Mario of Camelot. I guess one of the reasons I liked this episode was because it took a lot of inspiration from the medieval times. I don't know much about the actual story behind the Middle Ages, but as a kid, I found knights, swords, and castles to be cool. And when other franchises made their own spin on the stories, they always managed to land a soft place in my heart. This episode is one of them. To keep it brief, Bowser, or King Koopa in this series, manages to take over Camelot after the king had passed on. So Mario and company must find a way to stop him and free the people of Camelot. Along the way, they run into Mervyn the Magician, who instructs them on how to drive Bowser away. In the midst of their journey, they manage to find their version of Excalibur, which helps them to defeat Bowser and save the people of Camelot. After Bowser's defeat, Mario is crowned king, but after he's told that a king needs to be in shape, he reconsiders and runs away towards his next adventure. So yeah, it's pretty wacky, but that's kinda how the Mario franchise is if you really think about it. If you have seen the Mario movie, I recommend that you give the show in particular a watch, since the movie makes plenty of references around it. On top of that, I think you'll be pretty entertained by the show overall.
Super Mario World.
Super Mario World, it's a blast from the past. In Super Mario World, it's a blast.
The Super Mario World cartoon was something I didn't expect to like over time. Compared to Super Show or Super Mario Bros. 3, it's not nearly as adventurous or action-packed. Instead, it was a bit different, surrounding itself with casual slice-of-life stories rather than crazy adventures. The setting was also different as well. Obviously, they have to go based off the game, but caveman characters instead of regular Mario characters was something I totally did not expect in the Mario cartoon. Characters being replaced such as Toad with Yoshi was something I also did not expect. Originally, I didn't really like this change, as I thought Toad was a fine addition to the cast, and seeing him completely absent from the show was a bit uncanny to me. But as I watched more episodes, I slowly started to appreciate Yoshi as his own character and didn't really mind the change. In fact, I didn't really mind the show at all for being different. As time went on, I would rank the Super Mario World cartoon as my second favorite show within the trilogy. I mentioned how Super Show was able to keep me entertained by its overall adventurous vibe, but Super Mario World kept me entertained with its overall humor. Through each episode that I've seen, it has never failed to make me laugh.
I think they blame us.
It's all part of being civilized. Don't worry, Luigi. What are they gonna do? Banish us to the lava pits? Well, okay, so they banished us.
Much like Super Show, it's not very accurate to the actual game, but I still like the idea of the world being built around prehistoric times, surrounding itself with dinosaurs, cavemans, and so on. With these new additions, it allowed Mario and company to interact with these characters in their slice-of-life stories. Adventures are fun and my personal favorite in storytelling, but I also like casual fun episodes too, and I think this show captures the formula very well. Lots of these episodes are great, but one episode I liked the most was King Scoopa Koopa. I guess I liked it a lot due to the whole fast food aspect of things, but out of all the episodes, I found this one to be the most funniest and entertaining of them all.
Rotten fruit. Eggshells. It must be coming out of the... Oh, yeah.
I also appreciate the message the episode puts out. Fast food isn't that bad to eat every once in a while, but having it every day can do more harm than good to your body, and that's what this episode showcases. It reminds us every day that even if there are times that we do decide to eat fast food, we should also advise ourselves not to consume it all the time, and instead, eat something that's more healthy towards your body. Anyways, in this episode, Bowser, or known as King Koopa in this series, makes his own fast food restaurant. As crazy as it sounds, the place becomes a huge hit within Dome City, with Luigi and Yoshi becoming a huge fan of his food. However, Bowser's food is quickly revealed to have some crazy side effects, leaving all paying customers slowly mutating into chickens. Once Mario and Princess Peach, or Princess Toadstool in this series, take notice of this, they go on the quest to find a way to shut down Bowser's restaurant. Using the cape feather, Mario successfully destroys Bowser's restaurant, leaving him and his troops helpless to do anything but to retreat. Soon after, Mario encourages the town of Dome City to start eating healthy, and when they do, the town morphs back into normal, bringing Dome City back to peace. So yeah, it's pretty tame, but also pretty fun for a Mario cartoon. Lots of characters are enjoyable to watch, it's easygoing, super funny, and of course, fun to watch.
Superpowers, the Super Mario Brothers rescued Princess Toadstool and beat back the evil Koopa family.
I'll get those plumbers!
The Adventure of Super Mario Bros. 3 is probably the most faithful cartoon to be accurate to the actual game and lore, with lots of things being referenced from characters to worlds, something that the movie has a lot in common with. However, out of all the Mario cartoons, this was the one that I recalled watching the least, which is a little weird for me considering how much of a die-hard fan I am for the Super Mario franchise. The only thing I remember seeing from the series was the opening in this episode titled Mind Your Mummy, Mommy Mario, which was a pretty cool episode. Everything else with this series either felt like a blur or just went completely over my radar as a kid. Perhaps this series wasn't being pushed like the others, or my mother never saw this at the store. I have no idea. Anyhow, as years went by, I managed to catch some episodes on TV. I believe I was watching the Stars channel, which broadcasts movies 24/7, and on Saturday mornings, they would halt on the movies for a bit and air a few of the 90s cartoons like Inspector Gadget, Sonic Saturday AM, and of course, The Adventure of Super Mario Bros. 3. This was my only chance to catch a glimpse of what the show was like at the time, since again, it was the only show in the trilogy I didn't have around or recalled all that fondly. But once I consumed a few episodes, I was left disappointed and annoyed, since they kept airing the same mid-episodes back to back, instead of the stronger ones.
Huh?
There, now it's even harder.
Because of this, I came to the conclusion that the series was the worst cartoon in the trilogy for quite some time. Each episode that they chose to air left me bored and wanting more. But then came the internet, in which I was able to access all the episodes from the series that I have never seen before, changing my opinion of the show over time as I was able to find more good episodes of this series than bad. Episodes such as Reptiles in the Rose Garden, Never Koopa Koopa, or Super Koopa were really fun to watch, but there were also some episodes in which they would decide to tackle real-life issues like pollution and racism, such as Recycled Koopa or True Colors. These episodes made me respect the show for what it was, from being the worst cartoon in the trilogy to more so being the most underrated in the trilogy.
Do you think everyone's colors will ever fade back to normal?
Sure, they've already started, but it doesn't matter anymore. Everyone's learned that it's not a person's color that counts, it's the kind of person they are inside.
Think they'll ever learn that lesson in the real world?
Yeah, when humans get as smart as mushrooms.
If you're looking for a Mario cartoon that's a lot more faithful to the games, I think The Adventure of Super Mario Bros. 3 would interest you. It's filled with a lot of variety in its episodes, with some episodes being really entertaining and fun, all the while having some casual episodes sprinkled in between. A great set of balance for a cartoon show.